pretend you don't have it on. Wait, do it again.
Then I forget the end. Oh, peace.
Come on, girl. What is it?
Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, no matter what you drive.
There you go.
This is your all-terrain nation. Peace.
What is going on, all-terrain nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these Fords that we got to drive this weekend, this is your all-terrain nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, alongside my awesome co-hosts, Kelly Boyd and Miss Allie Dubois, something like that. I don't know, man.
Dubois.
I guess it depends on the time of day and the place. If we're in the Olympics right now, it might be different, Allie. Just remember that.
Maybe.
You know, we could be swimming in a big pile of raw sewage or whatever those poor people had to swim in. Yeah, they had to swim the river.
Oh my God, I showed my boss that and he didn't believe me at first. And then there was a news article. He's like, is this what you were talking about? I'm like, yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, the E. coli all over the place. Like people are coming out of it puking.
You can tell I don't pay attention to the news.
Yeah, well, it's pretty awful. But
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Happy Monday.
Cheers.
Kelly's trying to fight a migraine over here. Too much fun, I think, for the weekend's what that was about.
That's it. Too much fun.
We'll chalk that up. Allie, have you recovered from Silver Lake?
No.
Just no.
You look a little tan.
She's hiding under a blanket because she's probably sunburned to
Probably
hell.
so.
Poor Allie,
so
we showed up
sunburnt.
and Allie was sunburnt. And we got there like 10, I think.
Yeah, and she was sunburned from the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Needless to say, I am freezing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are going to discuss the Bronco Takeover a little bit, and I'm going to call it the Raptor Takeover because me and my buddy Erich Jefferson, who we got to meet at lives in Virginia, but we have to go all the way to Michigan to meet some of our viewers. But we did our own little Raptor Takeover, and he brought his new Ranger Raptor up there, and I got to finally test mine properly actually off-road. What's up, Maya?
Hi,
We
Maya.
got all the fun in the house. Kevin Hawthorne, Matt Porter is in here on a live stream. He just told us he only gets
He
to
told
watch
us
on
he was
replay.
going to try.
Matt.
Oh, me and Matt never got our picture.
Aw.
Oh, we didn't either.
No, we didn't.
We didn't get many pictures, actually, of ourselves.
This is the first event I actually had several pictures of me and other people, and I'm like, maybe I do need to do that more often. But it
I'm
was
so glad we made the cut.
we did.
Well, I was gonna get some pictures. I was gonna be damned. I got some pictures of Allie splashing in the mud puddles. Because I was like, I know the feeling. You guys never get to be in any of the cool. We've done it for a long time in our off-road event. We always see these cool pictures of our off-road events. Like, oh yeah, I remember taking that picture for them, or I remember doing this.
Yeah.
Never of us.
And I know, and that's the thing. This is the first event where I had pictures with people, or I actually had photos of Bucky. I had my customers send me a video of me going up Test Hill. Mike sent me a picture of me going up Test Hill. And yeah, I have 5 different pictures of the groups that I was with, and I'm it's just I talk about it. And I talk about seeing everyone, but I'm I have no physical evidence of me actually being.
Well,
but I have video evidence of everyone else.
We did test out. So we pull in, of course, we'll get into the drive and stuff, but we pulled in that Saturday morning and
we really didn't have any idea what to expect.
What's funny was I know Allie texted you and said, "Hey, I don't know if you'll ever be able to find me. It's a pretty big place." And we literally, as soon as we got into the thing, I was like, "Oh, there's Allie."
I was like, wait, I think that's Bucky. And I was like, maybe it's not. And then I saw Allie D on the back of her light. I was like, that's Allie. So I pulled in right beside her and yeah.
But we did Test Hill. We watched Allie go up and then we did Test Hill. And I have no video evidence.
No.
I went up that at all. And I meant to go up it again.
And Sydney freaked out.
Yeah, our daughter did not like that.
She did not want to. She said she was like 2 minutes away from starting to cry. If we hadn't started, then she would have started crying.
So,
and I know her that she'd have been done for the day.
And that's the thing. Like, I saw her getting like nervous, and I'm like, it'll be okay. I'm like, because I was like Sydney the first year that I went, because like I don't like heights. I don't do them well. Like, unless I'm like strapped in, like, nope, not happening. Like, it took me forever to even do like roller coasters.
Oh,
she's not a huge fan of roller
the first year I did Test Hill, or the first year I went to Takeover, I would not do it. My friend Erich and Nicole, that I've done Takeover with them the last 3 years, and I watched him every single time, and I literally would just meet him at the end of the hills, and I'm like, hey, I'll cruise around, I'll meet you at the end, type of a thing. But it's nerve-wracking. Like, it's a lot. And if you go, I mean, you guys were there all day. Like, you see people go backwards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You know who didn't go backwards? Team Boyd. That's right.
I didn't know we were high-fiving.
We didn't go backwards.
We did not. That was a hashtag goal of the day, to not have to go backwards down the hill. It really was.
She told me before we went over there, she's like, I don't want to get stuck, and I don't want to have to go backwards.
Those are the two things for sure.
I went backwards once and I was terrified.
Oh, no, thank you.
Not this weekend. It was like last year.
Well, I did have to go backwards at one point, just a little bit, but we were on a dune up at the top.
Yeah.
When I had to back up just a little bit.
Well, that was because that's when we went and Mike to try to help Mike.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the only time I had to back up was because we were already on the dune. Like, the dune was like this, and we were up there like this. So I had to back up just a little bit.
Yeah, we were on the very crest of a dune, and we were trying to help. I did help get a side-by-side unstuck, and I think I still have sand in my face and hair. Because he just buried me in sand. I was behind him trying to push, and
I've taken 2 showers. I still have sand in my scalp.
Oh yeah, of course we got a shower that night. We went out to dinner afterwards, but I had sand behind my ears at dinner. I could feel. Came home, all the way home, I was just like, still feel.
We can't even talk about the amount of sand that's in the Bronco.
Well, we gotta say hi. Thank you, David.
Hey,
Carlson.
David, thank you.
I have a goal.
How much?
I have a 12K goal tonight, guys. So there is a if we can get the super chats at 12K.
He's being
there's
funny.
a 2017 Ford Fiesta ST that I really want to buy.
It's not going to happen
for the channel, but we got to reach that goal. I'm kidding, of course. But anyways, yeah, let me say hi to everybody real quick, and or else, we have the man, the myth, the legend, who was trying to be on the show, but was having some audio issues. What is up, Erich? It was great to meet Erich in person. Finally, we got classics in the house. Kelly, we got Mr. Rob is in the house. Mr. Jack Evans, who baseball buddy. Yeah, we did have a fun weekend. Douglas Blair is in the house. Let's see, what do we got here? Bronco 22 bought new in January 23. Production delay, baby. What's going on there? Miss 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive herself, Alcione Ford, Miss Laura is in the house. She's still recovering. Yeah, Laura's recovering because she tries to shove 16 events into 8 hours. She had a Mustang event that she tried to do, and then somehow, what time, Allie, did you say she showed up at your campground?
3:30 in the morning.
Was it? Yeah.
2:30 in the morning.
It was 2:30 or 3.
She said it was 2:30.
No, I think we got the tent set up by 3. I think I lost track.
Yeah, so Laura's a trooper. Donald Rash is in the house. Let's see. Anthony, what is going on to you, sir? Matt Porter, once again. Tattoo Matt is in the house. And it's weird. We keep trying to go sit in Matt's chair, but the only way we get over there is for events. Gia is in the house. And we got the Gia. What was funny with Gia?
I had breakfast with Gia.
Well, we were airing down, getting our passes, and here comes
the Welcome
here
Center.
comes Gia, and it was like the strangest place to meet Gia again.
I mean, it's not like we were in a completely different part of town than any other Bronco thing. It's not like it would be that weird.
Let's see. It was definitely strange. Let's bring in Erich real quick. See if Erich actually has sound now. So, Erich, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear me now?
Woo!
There we go.
All right.
Resetting the computer works.
I had to reset my computer and reset my headphones, but we're good now.
Hey, man.
Crazy how those resets.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's right. Let me get Van de Man is in the house. Mr. Anna Smith, who sent us a little
You
care
missed
package.
a bunch of people.
I'm going.
Okay.
Sent us a care package. Minall Production is in the house. Mark King, the legendary Mark King, who you do not mess with Mark's Lego Death Star.
Nope,
Well,
we
what I've
heard a story about that this weekend.
This weekend.
That's right.
We did. We missed Matt.
Ryan is
Mark.
in the house. Douglas Blair, and the cast of characters keep joining in.
Unbridled Bronco. We spent some time with Jess with Unbridled Bronco this weekend.
We did. So
she kind of handheld us through the evening's situations.
Yeah, and she had some evening fun herself, I guess.
Yes.
I want to get before, because I know Erich doesn't ever get to spend the whole time on there. I want to talk to Erich a little bit, because Erich, you're from Michigan, right?
Yes.
But you'd never been to the dunes. You've done sand in Virginia area, right?
Correct. So I grew up in west side of Detroit. I'd actually never been on that side of the state. So coming up this weekend was my first time being over out that way. And like I've talked to you about up there, the dunes, that not really dunes, but the Outer Banks, it's nothing like what Silver Lake was. Nothing like it.
So you're saying you don't dodge wild horses is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Just wild people on four-wheelers and motorcycles.
I know, right? Kicking up sand in my Ranger.
What's funny is because we all entered the park together. We met up with Erich and got to enter the park together and air down and all that. And we had a flag issue from get-go. And hey, cheers, Erich. Cheers, by the way, sir.
Cheers.
But flags, what an ordeal that was, because me and Erich both, we had talked privately offline, like, hey, where are you going? What are you getting with your flag? Because trucks are different than like the Bronco with Jeff's Graveyard's little mount is perfect. Gets the flag up way high. But for trucks, we're sitting a little bit lower, and our mounting point is on the one of the front recovery points. And what a pain in the butt that was, Erich.
Yeah, it was.
I think
now we got to figure it out, though.
Yeah, I think by the time we probably spent $100 there, we were both done of like, man, I just want to go off-road.
Yeah, exactly.
They planned accordingly, and the plan did not work out.
Yes.
No, not at all.
Major failure. Somehow, I guess my flag honestly felt like it was a kiddie's flag for a bicycle.
Yeah,
it was that thin, and
it was a tiny flag.
But yes, but the off-road shops there are willing to take your money. I did notice that they were very
yes, they were.
And that young kid came out, was very helpful.
Yeah, he was.
And I tried to steal him away from Erich because I was like, hey, man, I've got a flag that ain't going to cut it at all. And he's like, oh, no, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. And then I saw you mount yours, and I was like, I was still like a foot and a half lower. And I was like,
yeah, you weren't going to hit the thing.
No, and I'd watched the Topher's video where he showed he got his Ranger Raptor and was driving through it. And he did a good job of talking like, hey, yeah, it's got to hit this bar. The flag's got to hit this bar and stuff. And once I saw Erich's, I was like, that flag is, and there was a line to get in this place, man. They were packed.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Everybody I talked to was like, this is the most packed I've ever seen this place.
Yeah.
Allie, was it that busy to you?
Sometimes, it's kind of hit and miss, but I feel like August is always busy because it's like the last full week before kids go to school. Like, this is family's last vacation. But, it was packed.
Yeah. But so Erich, our first introduction to Silver Lake was the test. What do they call it? Test hill. And Erich was just like, you know what? I haven't got a long drive home. I want to get a feel for this vehicle. I'm gonna.
He beforehand was like, I'm not doing test hill. It's fine.
Yeah. I was afraid to mess the truck up before I came back home. So.
Oh, 100%. No, 100%. And we watched Allie go up it. And I had, from going in Johnson Valley, playing in that sand, I had a good idea how to approach that this time. But my only concern was we saw all these people parked on the very top of it. And I have no idea what's on the other side of it. And I'm like, well, I hope I don't kill somebody. Like, it's just the best case scenario there. But I went up it, and once you crest it, like, don't let completely off of it, but just once you can see what you're going over.
Well, and the good thing is it's a one way.
Yeah,
like they have directional.
Yes, which is great. I love that about the dunes. That was very nice. But you did it with Sydney. You said Sydney was very nervous at first, which I heard her. We were talking.
Yeah. Once we crested over, we actually went over and like a phantom whoop came out of nowhere. Like there were whoops, but there was a phantom big whoop that came out, and I got airborne. And she goes, "Nope, didn't like that. Didn't like the airborneness of that." She's like, "Let's not do that again." And so then, we made it through and all the things. And then a little bit later in the day, we were doing more whoops, and she was like, "Okay, those weren't as bad as like that other one. That first one just came out of nowhere and scared me." So then she liked the whoops after that.
Sometimes they do, and it's so crazy too, because like as you go there, like you think you know the dunes and you think you know your favorite spots. They change. I mean, I only go once a year.
Yeah.
So like I know they change yearly. I'm sure they change monthly because of like the wind and people driving on it, and it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm sure, because when we had gone up and like we're doing a little bit of the rescue up top, like the wind was blowing so hard, and you could just see the sand like flying in the wind with it. So I can only imagine how much they changed.
Well, I was standing up there, and it was like being sandblasted. It definitely pierced the eyeballs. And Mike, even though I didn't get to help you, you're welcome. We tried. No kitty. No, not tonight. No starring show.
He did thank us on CB after the fact, and I just didn't get a chance to say you're welcome, but we really didn't do anything. We just kind of came to your rescue and didn't really help.
Erich, so
we have
first
the 4-wheeler instead. Well, first told him no, and he's coming anyway.
I know. First time getting your Raptor in sand, which is what these things were built for. I know me and you discussed it a little bit. A lot of people want to make them rock crawlers and stuff, and they can do that. But where me and you were able to first time wheel our Raptors, this was ideally the right spot, right?
Oh yeah, of course. So, and I think we kind of talked about it while we were up there. I bought the Wild Track because initially I wanted to be able to do, what the Ranger Raptor was doing down up there at the dunes, and taking my Wild Track down to Outer Banks Slide is kind of cool. But actually having something that's actually purposely built to go out in the sand, go over the whoops, go fast, and actually being able to do it was absolutely amazing. Like I told you, this was $60,000 well spent on this truck.
Yeah. Yeah. I think ideally the size of it is great too, because I would love the Raptor R that we got to test drive would be great, but it would almost feel too big there.
Yeah. I would agree. I was just thinking the same thing, is that I think the Ranger is the perfect size, because I saw full size trucks out there and I was like, I know you could, but I just don't think it would be as fun. Even the difference between a 2-door to a 4-door, I think would be a big difference on the Broncos themselves, is like feeling like a go-kart versus. So I can't even imagine going from a mid-size truck to a full-size truck out there. I feel like it would be, less limber, like less everything from that perspective out there, even with the suspensions that are built for the sand and everything else. But yeah, I definitely feel like mid-size is the way to go out there.
I'll let Erich answer this question. So was it worth the price of the ORV trail permit and state park pass?
So yes and no. If you're going to be up there more often to go be able to use it and go to the parks, of course it's worth it. For me, it's a little bit difficult because yes, I'm from Michigan, but I don't go back home as often as I should. So if I was able to go back home more often and be able to use that pass, yeah. But still, it wasn't that expensive. And compared to, for example, going down to Outer Banks to go down the Corolla Beach, it's $50 for a 10-day pass versus paying $35 for a yearly pass. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, we had 2 vehicles, Erich. So it was a little more expensive. Kelly came back and goes, well, there was $90.
Yeah.
And we're used to like Windrock used to be like $17 a day or something. So you're like, in Tennessee, bless us, we have no state trying to tax us on anything off-road. So right now anyway, so I feel
but we did pay an out-of-state fee. So because we don't live up there, she actually asked, was like, are you a Michigan resident? And I said, no, we are Tennessee, and
Yeah.
so we had to pay a little bit more for that. So I think from a local perspective, it definitely would be worth a pass if you lived in the area.
But to experience the dunes, though, I think 100%. Like this has been on a bucket list of mine for a long time, was to get a chance to kind of play in this kind of sand, because for us, Johnson Valley is so far away.
Oh, for sure.
And that would be really the kind of closest big open land that we could play in, like with the Raptors or any vehicles. So this was would I've liked it to have been just a little bit less busy, 100%, but we still had a blast.
Yeah. And as the day went on, it got busier. So
Well,
really the morning was perfect. I think.
Off-roading's a hobby, and guess what? Hobbies are always expensive.
Mhm.
So you just got to get used to that one. And the great thing is, nobody really breaks tie rods on the sand. Not saying you cannot do that. I'm just saying you don't hear that a lot.
I don't know. In the drag strip, it looked like there were a couple trucks that might have potentially broken some stuff on there, but they didn't. But you really felt like they should have.
Yeah, that was a highlight for me. I think it was for Erich as well. They had the quarter-mile drag strip. Did you win any races, Erich?
I won. I think one of the Ford Performance guys. He was the one that was in the green wild track.
Mm-hmm.
I beat him, and then every other race other than that, I lost because was still getting used to drag racing on the sand. And I think one of the white Raptors that I raced, I beat him.
Yeah,
nice. Bronco Raptor, I beat him. Yeah.
Yeah, I went up. I think there was a 392 maybe Jeep that kept jumping out there.
Yeah.
And I was able to keep up with him pretty good. But the one that pissed me off was there was a TRX out there. I think you lined up with me on that first time going out there.
Yeah, we were trying to do all Ford race, and this TRX has jumped in there.
Yeah, yeah. But the worst thing for me was you could see how rutted this was. So you kind of like, okay, you're going to fight this a little bit, and no experience trying to drag race on sand at all. But yeah, this TRX comes out, and then we were trying to figure out who says when to go. Like, it didn't realize there was.
It's like Matt said, nobody knew when to start.
Yeah, and there was some people out there helping get us going, but this dude just took off, and I was able to somewhat get close to him, but I got video somewhere where I definitely got my ass handed to me on that one. It was not even.
I've got the video for you.
Not even.
Kelly's like, "Don't worry, I got this."
Yeah, well, I've got a few videos for her.
There might be a few videos where I maybe saying some expletives.
Well, speaking of that, let's do this.
Lord, how did I know you were going?
So this is a quick edit of some drag racing. So let's watch how this goes.
I haven't even seen this, I don't think. You had to show how badly you beat me on that one, huh? Not the close ones.
There's a lot. The ruts right there were just bad.
They're deep.
Well, that's why I was saying. I was trying to tell you earlier when we were racing, the far right side of that track was perfect because there weren't a lot of whoops right there, and it was easier for us to like get a grip and just go.
Yeah.
This is where Allie and I were having fun.
Just a little bit. Just a wee bit.
Yeah, this was
the whole back of my Bronco was soaked.
Allie had the top off her back on hers.
Windows down and the top off.
Still worth it. I'd do it again.
It was fun. Sid had a blast.
Yeah, I think she would love to do this again.
I was laughing so hard.
Here's Allie out in front doing some splashes. Oh, beagle puppies.
Yeah, he wanted some screen time, so because he saw his big brother can put his face up and you guys can see him. So, all right, get down, buddy.
Yeah, you had to make sure you only hugged the outside of some of those because you did not want to test how deep.
Yeah, some of them were very deep.
I just went for it on that one. Apparently,
all that.
All right, Kelly's back here about to run over.
No, I wasn't gonna run her over.
I know, I'm just playing. But
I should have stayed for that picture, but I had to head back home.
Here's the finale.
Oh, our finale.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like Kelly.
I don't know. I think the Ranger Raptor won that one.
Oh yeah, how funny! How funny!
There was one clip I couldn't find it where Kelly got me on the jump, and she was a half a car length ahead of me, and then all of a sudden, the great thing about the Ranger Raptor was, just the torque. Once it gets going, it's moving. But
Yeah.
one disadvantage I think we had was, Eric, was the bigger tires seemed to, I don't know if it was the ruts or what, they just seemed to have an advantage at that rough area.
Yes.
And
I
then
agree.
once there was about halfway, it smoothed out, and you could just feel the truck go really pulling then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could see him really pulling away from me at that point too. And I may I may have some interior footage for you guys for him to pull
Possibly.
together.
Yeah, but I hit 65 in the quarter there.
I don't know what I hit. I was just trying to beat you.
I have videos somewhere where you can just see 60, 65 on there, but which is actually pretty good considering the terrain we were trying to rip through.
Rob asked, was there a Laura versus Dave race? There was going to be, but at the time, I think Laura wasn't.
She just showed up.
She had just showed up or
and
something.
we were going to lunch.
Yeah, so it was like times didn't cross, and then we didn't see her again until after.
Oh, Lord, no, he left me. Oh, come on now.
I got to race Laura, but the whole flagger thing came up, and I just kind of let it go because there was no way I was going to catch back up to her.
Let it go.
Yeah.
I got to go on a Raptor. It was so fun.
Did you? That's fun. There was one time where Mike and I were about to run into each other just because the way that the ruts were towards the later in the day as it went, the ruts were kind of pulling you into each other, and there was no chance that either of us were going to take it. So we just kind of let it go and got to the end, but that was it.
Yeah, no, let me pull this up real quick because you can see right here.
So somebody told me that they generally people go out there and drag it, but they're wondering if maybe they're not to encourage less speed because of the accident that happened a few weeks back.
Yeah.
So those that don't know that there was unfortunately
cooler.
What's that?
So that is also why they were checking every single cooler.
Yeah, that does not surprise me at all. But for those that don't know, unfortunately, a lady was killed a couple weeks ago when a Jeep came kind of over and hit her as she was protecting her child. So it's definitely
sorry,
right. She's like,
we do not need the alley show.
But these ruts, of course, it doesn't look like it really shows well on TV. But once you're in these, forget it. You weren't getting out of them. And then there was the side-by-side guys would get close to you, or there was the diesel bro that wanted to be out there. And yeah, diesel bro was going to whip our ass. But dude, they didn't pay attention, it seemed like. And I know there was one, probably my final race where I was about where I'm showing in this picture now next to Kelly. I might have been where Kelly was, but by the end of the race, I was all the way to the right because it pulled you. It was just pulling me over there, and I didn't want to. You don't want to fight too much. You don't want to, roll one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Eric, those ruts right there. I told Kelly when she was lined up the first time, I was like, get in a rut because there ain't no need in fighting it. You're just gonna do it.
Yeah, there were a couple times where I was like, I can't remember which race it was. It was a red wild track I was racing. I got stuck in the rut, and I saw him get stuck in the rut trying to fight out of it, and he kind of veered over a little bit, and I had to come up out of it because both of us trying to fight the ruts instead of just going with it made it kind of difficult to race.
Yeah, it gets dangerous too.
Yeah,
like you said, you're both fighting it. Eventually, power's going to take over, and it's not always going to be a good outcome.
Yeah, but that was a highlight for me though. Getting
that was fun
because I kept turning around like, hey, let's go again.
He did too. People were like, "Where's Dave? He's down there racing."
I really wish there was a couple places I could have jumped the truck, and I just wasn't sure of who was on the other side of some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had some radios with me. I know Eric, you had some with you, but where I could have had somebody on the other side and just try to get some cool jumps because I hit some of the whoop-de-whoops and definitely got air.
Yeah.
I was very happy. And that's something I noticed about the Raptor too, Eric, was it just absorbed the whoop-de-whoops. And
I was just about to talk about that. Even though they're difficult to kind of power through when trying to race, but the truck doesn't bounce around. You can kind of feel the tires jumping, but you don't feel the whole truck doing the whole body roll thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in my Bronco, you could definitely like. I was hitting body at some points when I did it.
Out.
Yeah, I was bottoming out at some point, or at certain points where and that was when Sydney was like, "Nope, don't really like that." Like as we're bouncing along, she's like, "We don't have to do that again."
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was definitely a blast. Erich, what was the highlight of the day? Because you came in and then when it's like, all right,
And then it was pretty much you were
Gotta
gone
go.
by the time.
Well, the only reason why I did that is because I drove up. I wasn't supposed to work on Thursday. A couple salespeople called out. I had to go in to work Thursday from like 9 to about 3 or 4. And I was supposed to come home, pick up a package, pack the truck up, and hit the road. I didn't end up leaving Virginia until like 6:30. So, and I didn't get to Silver Lake till right around, I want to say 7 or 8 Friday morning.
Oh wow.
So I checked in the hotel room. Oh, there was a horrible storm in Pennsylvania. So checked in my hotel room, took a shower, cleaned up, went to the car show, the Bronco show, sweated my butt off, and then went back to the room, waited for you. So basically I was like exhausted. So if I had stayed there longer for the dunes, I would not be able to make it back home in time.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, I know. I texted with you for a little bit. You're like, hey, I'm going to get a nap.
Oh, I was out, dude.
That's great. I think though for the price we paid for the Raptors, man, well worth it. After getting to experience them in their prime conditions, I definitely 100% worth it.
Yep, I agree.
And if you guys want one, you better get on them because I'm telling you, I keep seeing enough of my media friends that keep talking about how cheap they are versus the ZR2 and the new TRD Pro. And Ford's going to get to 65K on that truck real quick. If they don't, they're not going to give money away. They're not going to let money on the table there. So if you want one, you better jump in on one. And Erich, you work for a dealership. They might want to see, right?
I think I have 2 left. Yeah, I work at Cavalier Ford, Chesapeake Square. So the Cavalier Auto Group. There's like 5 dealerships, 3 of them are Ford. So if you look on our website, you'll see all the vehicles that we have here. But we do have 2 at my dealership right now: a white one and my Raptors twin.
Right.
Better get
Allie,
it.
do y'all have any there? Or are you guys out of them?
No, we're out. Everyone who's taken the orders have taken them within hours of them showing up.
Wow. Yeah. No, they're definitely. I was bummed out. I really wanted to throw you the keys. I told you, I was like, here, when we first, I was like, you can drive this thing up there. But I think we just all started having so much fun. And I'll be honest, this was a great trip for us because I videoed some stuff, but it's just a mess of raw footage that me and Kelly will end up sitting here and doing a video on. But it was nice to kind of have a vacation.
Well, it's funny because a little side of Marital Nation kind of thing, but you set the tone for that early before we went because Sydney was in the back seat going, "Hey mom, can you make a doctor's appointment for this while we're driving down the road? Or can you do this?" Or like asking those things. And Dave was like, "No, we're going to leave all of that until after. Like we deserve some downtime. We've been going for months between softball and this and life and, everything." And he said it was hard. It's hard to disconnect once you're used to kind of going, figuring out where those little tiny pockets of time are for you to get those things done. And when he said that, you don't know this, but I was like fighting not doing things on my phone, like driving down the road as we're going to, different things. And it was good. It was important. And I think it was good for all of us to get that disconnect because I noticed that Sid was different after the disconnect. Like she just really kind of appreciated it. I even told her like, none of us are on meds, but like, this is better than meds could do for you because it's a natural like high that you're getting out there that you can just really kind of free yourself and kind of get out there. So it was really, it was a much needed day after a very busy and before we start to get busy for the fall.
Yeah. Which is coming up.
Even for me with it, granted, it was a Bronco event, but it was finally one like I wasn't in charge of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it was really nice to it. Like I was still pulled in like 15 different directions, like every other second. But like it was still super fun just to like relax and like watch everyone have fun and kind of enjoy this time with their families because it's like everyone's going back to school. It's
Mhm.
kind of like the last hurrah type of a thing.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to see everyone enjoying each other's company for once.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kelly, what were you expecting? What happened
Maya,
for
what are you doing?
And where does this rack and all the off-roading that we've ventured from coast to coast now? Kind of
Mhm.
where does this stack up?
Honestly, I was really hesitant going in because we've besides Johnson Valley in someone else's vehicle, we've not spent, or like in Ford's vehicles, we haven't spent time in our own vehicles where we're responsible for our own like getting out and things like that. And so I was a little hesitant going into this, but I was really glad that we did and we had a great time. And I didn't get stuck. So this one can't hold it against me.
I did.
You did. Well, it's funny because at the top of Test Hill, no, I don't know if anybody was behind me to know it, but like I got up there and I'm like going, I like get very to the tippy top of Test Hill and she's not wanting to turn over it. And I'm like, I am not backing down this thing. And I'm actually like sitting
This is
there
not
like,
where it ends.
right. And I'm like rocking forward going, go girl, go. And like Sydney's like, we're going to go, mom, we're going to go. And thankfully we rocked over. But that, that's, going up Test Hill and looking back and seeing that we did it, that was really kind of the highlight for me. But the drag racing was super fun too. But in comparison to what we've done from coast to coast, I still like my rock climbing because there's just that there's that conquering of doing it. Between here, Johnson Valley, or between rock crawling, Johnson Valley, and the dunes, I'd say it's probably third in line, only because those are two other. I cut my teeth in off-roading in the rock climbing, I think, and then Johnson Valley is just an epic experience. So you really can't.
Well, Johnson Valley is like the best for us, best of both worlds. You get the sand,
100%,
and you get some cool rock crawling. So,
but it was amazing. I would definitely do it again. It was a lot of fun. Definitely fun. How about you?
Yeah, no. I mean, just having that much open area where you can get into a vehicle, especially like the Raptor for me, it's been a dream vehicle. Getting to just floor it and just, if you want to do donuts or whatever, but just getting to feel that vehicle in this type of terrain was just awesome. Because I've had the experience with the Bronco, and not in this terrain, but I kind of know what to expect with the Bronco. This year we got to go experience the Raptor R, and that was a whole new level of fun for me. There's something about this isn't like Johnson Valley, where Johnson Valley's sandy, silty terrain. This is just more soft. But when we were in Johnson Valley hitting 70 plus miles an hour on those straightaways and just feeling what the vehicle was doing, that's epic. And taking that over to this now, where it was a little different, but you still, like me and Erich talking about the whoops, the up and down, you feel the suspension doing what it's supposed to do and keeping you going straight, where, if this was just a base truck, like an XLT or something, you're definitely going to wander all over the place, and it's still going to be fun. But this truck builds your confidence so much.
For sure. But there was definitely a point where I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get him out of the drag strip. It's like, I don't remember who I was talking to this weekend, but I said, it's kind of funny because when we went to Johnson Valley, he came through after the third time and was like, I want to go again. And I was like, nope, you're done. Like, I'm pretty sure they want us to be done. And then the guy told us, he was like, well, you could have gone again. And I said, no. That's where I had to lay down the wife card and say, he's getting too comfortable behind the wheel of this vehicle.
Oh no.
That's how Laura was last year. She went like 10 times in a row. You just kept watching her go in circles.
Who was that?
Laura. Yeah, no, that bums me out so bad that we didn't get to, because I really wanted to race Laura. But there's something for down the road.
Yeah.
Erich, I know you got to get up early and stuff, and the puppies are all wanting some outdoor time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you can probably hear the little one barking right now in the backyard, but yeah.
Definitely down the road. I want to get you back on to give me some thoughts once you kind of settle with your truck even more and get to do a little bit more with it. I want to see where you rack this thing up.
Sounds like he's in again for next year, he says.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely going again next year. But next year, I'm taking the entire week off, so I have time to rest before I make that 14.5-hour drive back down here.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, you're a
Well,
hell of
actually-
a trooper,
It's
dude.
a drive.
Actually, next year, my driving back down to Tennessee instead of down to Virginia. So
Yeah, there you go.
There you
There you
go.
go. A little
There
bit
you go.
closer.
Yeah, it's about 5 hours closer.
Yeah. Eric, what if you want people to follow you on Instagram or anything, what is your ID?
my Instagram ID is Erich the Cook.
Because
I
Eric, the
do-
barbecue guy.
Yeah, I do a lot of barbecue stuff. So
So I can't wait for Eric to be a little bit closer because I'm a barbecue fan.
Big fan.
Well, Eric, I'm gonna let you go. I always say this. There's no easy way of doing this. So we're gonna say goodbye.
all right, bye everybody. Good evening, everybody.
Good to see you.
There you go,
Oh, night,
guys.
Matt.
There was Eric, and it was nice to have another Raptor guy out there with me too. We were talking back and forth of like, hey, this is a lot of fun, or here's how the truck felt. Bronco ladies, clearly, this was a Bronco takeover.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. How did your Bronco perform, Kelly?
It performed really well. I wish we were a little faster in the drag strip. I'm just
because
saying.
You drove up, and I called you last week when I did this show, but you drove up to your mom's, spent the week in Detroit.
Did. Yep. I drove up last Sunday, spent the week working from my mom's house while she took sit out and kind of kept her busy during my work hours, and then kind of did all the Michigan things that evening. So by the time we got over to West Michigan, I was tired because it wasn't on vacation. I was working and then spending time with family and stuff like that. So that 3.5 hours, 4 hours was pretty intense on the way over. I knew where you were going with that.
No, we're good.
It was pretty intense on the way over. I was ready to get there and just chill and be done, kind of like doing all the things.
Mhm.
So Saturday was a good like disconnect, kind of not have a agenda really
Yeah.
kind of in place.
Coming up, I'd asked you about your fuel economy. Look, obviously we have heavy bumpers on this thing now.
Yeah.
I remember what our Xterra used to do. 13s was
Yeah.
probably pretty good for that vehicle. I think you said you were in the 16s or something.
Yeah, on average, I did right about 16 over
Yeah.
the whole entire trip. So I didn't reset my I didn't reset my MPGs the entire time from when I left here, the day at the dunes, and coming back. So
Well, that considering that's
yeah,
really
considering a day at the dunes, honestly, that's a big one because we've done it where we've gone off-roading before, and the MPG is just kind of. I think I've done like 8
Same.
on the when you're actually like there. So to know that I did like 16 over the whole trip,
Yeah.
like
Well,
1,300
I
miles.
thought it was super funny. When did I fill up? I think Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Saturday afternoon, we had like taken a break for lunch, and I wanted to go fill up at the gas station. And a full tank told me I was at like 197 miles until
Oh, yeah.
empty. And I'm
Yeah.
just like that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. So I got on the way up to Detroit. I was 20.3,
Nice.
which is well over what Ford's. I think they say 18 on the highway. And I remember when I picked it up from Alley, I was getting 17.8, something like that. But there was a fresh motor. They're broke in, but
Yeah.
they do get better over time. So I was blown away by 20.3, and I was 80 plus mile an hour all the way there. It wasn't a like
All the way through Mexico.
Yes, it was all the way down, to Baja. Somehow did a flip up to Michigan, but
All in about 9 hours.
I was very surprised with that, and I was really surprised my fuel economy till I'm following Kelly over from Detroit to Silver Lake, and this was Kelly's speed, 93 miles an hour. We were averaging about 88 miles per hour, but at one point I hit 3 digits.
I did not hit 3 digits. No way.
I was trying to keep up with you.
No.
And Kelly was out in front. She was leading the way. And of course, the great thing about Detroit to Silver Lake, there doesn't seem like police.
You better just zip it.
Police don't seem to. They don't want to hang out.
Somehow we'll end up with a ticket in the mail. So let's not even talk about it. For both of them.
But Miss Leadfoot over here, what was up with?
Part of the lead-footedness was, I feel pressure whenever he's behind me. You don't know this, but I always feel pressure when he's behind me because I feel like I should be going faster, or that I'm changing lane, and it's totally self-induced. It's not anything he's ever done, but I always feel that pressure of you behind me of like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing type thing? Well, and when he catches this in picture is when I was following an F-150 who was pulling away from me.
Yes. And
I was still not catching him at 93.
Well, that F-150 though, when he pulled up next to me, our alley in Tennessee, and when I bought the truck, I was expecting kind of like the Bronco, like the waves and stuff. Nothing.
No,
nothing. All the way to
all the fanboys would come out. No,
nothing. Even in Tennessee, I took it to the Cars and Coffee here the first week that we had it at a Raptor Supercell. Nobody noticed it. I get up in this area of the country. Suddenly, it's like everybody's like, "Hey, truck, yeah, cool." And that F-150 got up next to me, and I was in my own world.
It was before I was going 93.
Yeah. And he was like kind of pointing at me, and at first I thought, "Oh man, is this guy being a dick?" Like what?
Right.
And then I seen he gave me the thumbs up, so I just gunned it, and he was like, "Yeah!" You could see him in the cab, and finally that's when, and I think that led him to go, "You know what? These people want to go. Let's go."
So he was doing, again, he was pulling away from me at 93. So, and I just, when the Bronco gets up there, she just wants to go. She wants to stay there and go. So that's the challenge I have, is like backing down and going, oh, we have to go down to 88. Or, we have to go down to whatever. I hope my mom
feed them. It's only 70.
Yeah. Right. So no. So part of is the push, the pressure, like of you being behind me. Mm-hmm. And then the other part of it is, I just want to get there, and I'm not getting there fast enough. So there's that.
Yeah. Laura says the same thing. She's with you on that. But yeah, no, I mean, clearly I just thought it was fun because this is the fastest. I mean, we were cranking across the state, and like I said, and maybe cops hang out there. I don't know, but it just seemed like it was just open road. Of course, 75 miles per hour, which is nice. We're used to 70 everywhere. So
yeah, because the less populated areas, they do allow you to go 75 in some of those less populated areas, which was nice every time we hit that 75, because I was like, yes, finally 75, a little less buffer or a little more buffer of the potential ticket that might come.
Yeah. Bummer though was
how fast before you do that, how fast did you go getting over there, Allie? What was your top?
75, 80.
Oh, rookie numbers.
I know.
Jeez, but you were by yourself, right?
You did right now.
Did you drive by yourself?
Yeah.
Or did you convoy anybody?
No.
Oh, so you had nobody pushing you. I got it.
Well,
no, it was just me. So I do have to say, the amount of people who opened my door to see Maya.
Oh,
and she wasn't there.
Was at least 20.
Aw. I kept kind of like looking, but I knew you wouldn't have your top down and you wouldn't have your windows down if she was in there, because you'd have the AC on the whole time.
Yeah. So yeah, I was really sad. Like come Saturday night, like we were on Sunset Hill, and I like started looking at the time, and I bailed early. I'm like, guys, I'm leaving. Like I'm gonna go air up. I tore down, and I just threw everything in the car and started driving.
You just took off. Yeah.
I missed her.
Yeah, what's that? It's like 3 hour plus drive for you?
Yeah, it's just over 3 hours.
Yeah, not too bad.
I think I got home at like 1:30-ish.
Love how she makes it sound like 3 hours isn't that bad. And then I'm going 3 hours.
Like, it could be 9 hours.
That's true. I
Yeah,
know.
we
Because this one told us we were getting up at 5:30 in the morning on Sunday morning to start driving home. And I said, you do realize that's 4:30 or Tennessee time, right? He's like, it's fine. You've been on Michigan time. No. My body has not adjusted to that 1 hour. So we are not doing 4:30 in the morning. So he let us sleep until 6:30 Michigan time, which was 5:30 our time. So
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was dead to the world yesterday. I woke up at 8, gave Maya her meds, passed out till like noon. I went and saw my niece for like 2 hours and then came back home and fell asleep.
So jealous because at noon we were in Indiana.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Well, so we were airing down, and this was kind of a bummer that I happened to notice was there is a split there in the tire, and this is really the first off-road trip this truck's been on. So
Yeah.
I know our buddy Karji in the comments, I think he erased it, but he said something to the effect of looks like it was a gash with a cut, and I was like, well, this truck really hasn't, other than playing in a creek once, like this truck has not been off-roaded. And when I was looking at it, it looks like it's just splitting. But I contacted the Ford dealership today and got put on eternal hold, only to find out that, hey, your mailbox was full. So guess what?
For our sales rep and our local dealer.
Please, when you're done with, just delete your.
Okay, hold on. Pause with that though. No, I'm dead serious.
I know there's a flip side to this.
No, if their dealer was part of the hack.
Oh, his voicemail's full.
We don't have voicemail.
Oh, you don't have voicemail right now.
Okay.
Oh, see, that's good to know.
Like,
that's good to know.
We can't even get into our phones to change our voicemail saying don't leave a voicemail. So I think one of our guys has like the max of like 42. And we can't. So if their dealer was a part of the hack, they still don't have voicemail.
Which I'm pretty sure it was because somebody had posted locally that the dealer was affected. So that makes sense.
So just saying, I know they suck, but like people are ready to like rip our heads off.
Mobile, tires are a wear and tear item, but when you have less than 4,000 miles or whatever I have on the truck now, that if you see it,
we feel like that's manufacturer
miles and months that they'll do something.
But I mean, at the end of the day, they're like, "Look, dude, we're not going to cover it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm contacting Ford." I just felt like it was a split in the tire. Of course, KO3s are a new tire, so they get tested, but in the real world, it's always different than how they Baja test them or whatever they do.
Wait, did you just say next week Unbridled Bronco? It is not next week.
What?
Yeah, it is.
Stampede is next week?
It's the same weekend as Woodward.
Son of a banana.
So, yes, for some people, it only affected the contracting. But if you have your phones tied with CDK, like a lot of us do, you still don't have voicemail. It sucks.
Yeah, so
because Stampede and Woodward are next weekend, guys. So this Sunday for Michigan, there is Bronco's birthday starting at Ford's garage, and then we go to Michigan Assembly Plant, and then the 15th and 16th are Bronco Nation, the 17th is Woodward, the 18th is Hollyoaks. Say goodbye to my social life for the next 2 weeks.
I don't have time for all this.
Well, the worst thing is our daughter's on a new travel team,
yes,
softball travel team, and that's kicking in.
And she already missed practice on Friday night because we were in Michigan. And then she's going to miss one of her rec ball games for her high school balls, like meet and greet thing.
Yeah.
Facts.
Somehow I will cover Stampede, I guess, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're but it looks like one of us will be at Stampede, I guess, and the other one will be at softball. Who knows? But the plan was for us to go back for Woodward, but what I learned this week was just no reason.
May not really make sense.
Yeah, no big fun just yet coming up. So, I mean, besides clearly all the normal fun.
Yeah. This, you have to apply for it. We're not getting allocation.
Yeah, no, this is just like the GT. You apply for it, you put your smiley face in a video.
And you just say what dealer you want to go to.
Yeah. And if you got $350K at starting price, that's starting price.
I don't think dealers can't touch it. I think I think this is the same for like the GT, where like you have to finance through Ford Credit.
Well,
Like-
I know Mitchell Watt's dealership was able to buy a GT, and they got somehow they applied and got during COVID they got the cool, we'll build your car. Normally on those cars they build them in Canada, and normally you get to fly up, you choose the colors and everything, and you get to fly up, and when it's in a certain part of production, they show you the car, and like they walk you around and talk about some of the things. And during COVID,
real white glove
they
experience.
didn't really get to do that during COVID, so they just got their car delivered. But yeah, it's an experience. You have one guy that delivers all the vehicles. He's an expert on that vehicle. It shows up in a covered semi, and it's an experience. And they stay with you till you really know that car. So you can get one. That's awesome, man. But
yeah, but you got to apply.
yeah, and I honestly right now I almost feel like this. I know this is a Ford show. I honestly feel like the ZR1 Corvette might be a better deal. It's going to be $150 probably plus $1,000 car, but 1,000 horsepower. I don't know. I mean, I like the GTD.
You just went poof in the Ford world.
I know, but I like all cars. Clearly,
that is true.
No markup. Tim Bart says no markup on the GTD.
Buyer picks their dealer.
Yep.
Dealer makes $15K. And honestly, that's not a lot for that car if you think about it.
No, not this.
I mean, clearly,
it's more than what they're making.
Well, there's a prestige.
They don't even want to pay the dealers for it,
right?
Well, I mean, there's a prestige for the dealership to have that car come. There's definitely a fun to it, but yeah, that's not a ton of money. You guys have questions on Woodward? Bring them. We'll try to get to or Woodward, Silver Lake. We'll try to get to answering them.
So Jonathan Fold says, "Is there exclusive Bronco parking for Woodward?"
Bronco Nation handles that, right?
Yep, Allie, that would be Bronco Nation, right?
Yep. Go to Bronco Nation or thebronconation.com and register, and they will get you in.
Let's see what else we got going on.
Jason Leopold said, "Is the 18th the Holly the off rodeo thing?"
Yes. So the 18th is, what's the name of it?
It's
Outpost.
Outpost.
Sorry, I'm not kidding when I said I'm really tired.
No, I knew I couldn't remember what it was called, but that's
So Outpost is on Sunday from 8 to 2 or 3. I think it just kind of goes until everyone's happy and like you learn your stuff and gain your confidence and ask your questions. I had 3 girls message me today that they had signed up for it, so I'm very excited to meet them. It really just depends. I don't love the price of it, but if you've gone to off rodeo, you know
you're getting professional trained. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not like
you know what you're getting. Like you are getting. I think it's Brian and Corey. We may have some other people show up. You're getting one-on-one training. You're in your Bronco, so like you're not in Ford's Broncos to where like you don't know what you're getting. You're in your Bronco, so you learn in your Bronco. So I think that's gonna be the biggest takeaway from this, is that like you'll get to learn little tips and tricks in your specific Bronco, which I think will be really nice because like when I know I'm very lucky that I've gone to more than one off rodeo, but like I haven't had a Badlands like mine. So like I should like put a sticker or like do a little reminder or something of like where something is or like what I should start doing with Bucky. But I think it's just a great way to gain confidence and get some one-on-one training and like recovery and things like that too. So,
good night, Jess.
Night, Jess. So,
well, and it's extra confidence when you're in your own vehicle too. I mean, that's a big deal. And I know you were saying you've not been in, a Badlands, but I don't know. I just think there's something. There's when it's their vehicle. Obviously, you buy the insurance and stuff to help protect you, but there's still not that. There's some people out there just beat the piss out of those things for the wrong reasons.
So CP ATV asked, any Ranger lift kits in the works that you know of?
Yeah, there's quite a few out there. Gosh, Fouts, I think would be the company I'd look at right now for some Ranger stuff. Check with Exodus 4x4.
That's what I was going to say.
Bubba over there is a super nice guy, and he loves the Ranger.
We had him on the show about a month or so ago.
Yeah, and like seriously, Exodus, follow him on Instagram. Bubba loves the Ranger.
That's EXODUS.
Yes.
4x4.
4x4.
4x4. Yes. So definitely check it out.
And tell him we said hi.
Yeah. Mobile Moto says my Ford points disappear in 90 days. No idea what I'm going to use them for. Lots of things.
I was gonna say, what a bummer to me if you don't buy their or get their goofy credit card. It's like, oh yeah, now they go away. Them. I mean, obviously they were from the get go. They said that eventually they would go away, but it's just kind of, I don't know. We've used ours. I love it for oil changes, to be honest. They love that the fact that I don't know if Allie, if y'all do this, but our dealership has a mobile unit. They come out to our house, change the oil right before our trip. They did the Bronco, they did the Raptor. And they whined that they couldn't change the
only downside to when they come to our house is they can't do the tire rotations at our house because they said that they don't have the equipment to get our trucks far enough off the ground.
Yes.
I mean, I use discount tires for that anyways.
Yeah, so. But I mean, if we wanted to do, but I will say they didn't top off our fluids. We did talk about that.
Yes, they did not. We were out of windshield wiper fluid.
When Dave got to Michigan, he had no windshield wiper fluid.
And you know what our daughter asked us, Allie, the other day? She asked us about blinker fluid.
Because she's seen the bottle of blinker fluid.
Bottles you can buy.
God, you guys should have so taken that and just fucked with it.
Know we should have, but we were so heartbroken that our daughter did not know that it was
but this trip was a big experience for her. She learned to pump gas this weekend, and really had fun doing it. So she seemed to take an interest in these things.
She did, and I will say she rode with me up. And she was a very good secretary the entire time. Like if I had a text message pop in, she'd be like, Mom, so-and-so. And she's like, what do you want me to say? And she's like, oh, and I'm going to write it like you would, because you would use all the punctuation and all these things. Like, so she was kind of doing that. And then the other thing she was doing is I was like, because she's 14, so we're getting closer and closer to her potentially driving, sooner rather than later.
Which I would have let her drive at I know. I think,
but she said she did not want.
I think you're technically supposed to be 16.
Yeah, she did not want to drive at the dunes, but she kind of joked about driving at the dunes. But on the way up, we had a lot of learning experiences on the road of people doing stupid things.
We've been teaching her the rules of the road, what the dash lines mean, solid lines, and stuff like that.
So we've kind of been growing with that. And when we go off-roading, she's become a very good spotter from the passenger seat. So we've been trying to teach her some things along the way, and I've been testing her on the trip too. So it was a really good trip for her, I think, to kind of learn along the way. Laura says, is the outpost filled up? Trying to sign up now.
I don't think so. If you're having issues, I can have you email a girl.
Allie knows people.
Yeah. She's been very sweet this whole time. They are awesome. And she's the same person I talked to when I did everything with Michigan Bronco Club at Off Rodeo. They want people to go.
Yeah.
So
they definitely do. Jonathan Fald says, how do you know when the points expired?
Laura, did you sign up for the wrong day?
What's the rule now with the points, Allie?
I thought the rule started in October.
I think it is.
I think they start expiring in October.
Yeah.
Oh, which would make sense. 90 days. Yeah.
Yes, mobile, absolutely. The rules of the road, using your turn signals, the actual road, no signals because it is a sign of no one signals because it's a sign of weakness. So she actually called you out quite a bit on the trip when we would follow behind you. She'd be like, Dad never uses his turn signal. And then you started using it like the rest of the trip. And she was like, look at Dad using his turn signal to get over.
Hey, we owned a BMW once. We're allowed to not use turn signals.
So we talked about how I asked her, I was like, why do we use our turn signal? And she's like, so you can get over. And I was like, okay, let's think about that a little bit more. Like, why do we use it? Well, to tell people that you're getting over. Right. Because it's safer. She's like, yeah. So there were a lot of like those types of things.
Yeah. When Kelly owned a BMW,
I used my turn signal. You shut it.
She never
and if I didn't, it was an electrical fault.
If I didn't. One big thing I want to kind of final topic. If you guys have some questions, still load them up. I got a few minutes with you. I want to bring this up because I thought this was kind of hilarious. So I was interested in actually doing this. Me and Kelly talked about driving out to Utah.
I saw your comment today.
Yeah. So I was interested in doing this until I saw the price. Initially, I think it was $750 to bring your own truck to Utah to off-road on their course. And of course they have instructors that, and there's a lot of people. I've often said I'm an old dog. I'm not probably going to learn new tricks. That's why
an old man.
That's where I will be in a few months. But that's why I sent you for the training and stuff. I was like, hey, there's things that you'll take to that I'm just going to be a grumpy bastard. That's like, no, I don't want to do it.
True story.
But this was appealing to me. I thought, what a cool way that they're trying to celebrate the Raptors. Let's bring all the Raptors in. It'll be fun. But it was like $750. And then
even more than that.
The guest was another like $400 or $500. It was going to be very expensive. Obviously, Utah's not in the most prime location in the middle of the country that everybody can. And there's probably more Raptor owners on the East Coast than there are on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But so I just kind of wrote it off. I thought, well, Ford might call us up. Hey, Dave, would you like to cover this event? We'll send you out. I haven't heard from them. If they did, it would be fun. If not, I don't. It's not the end of the world. But it came out this week that hey, they've lowered it's exciting news. They've lowered the price. Now it's $500. So what that tells me, Kelly, we run events.
Yep.
What happens if you're going to have to lower your price by what, a fourth, a quarter, or something like that?
It says it was charging $1,000. That's what I thought.
Okay.
So it's half off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start doing this when your numbers are not turning out. So like if people are not signing up, you say, oh shit.
Yes.
We charge too much. We're going to drop the price. And so that is, we've not heard that is what happened, but educated decision tells us, or educated knowledge tells us that that's what's happened with this one.
Yes, which is it is interesting to me. Maybe
it includes a driver and a passenger for $500.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Before it was 1,000 plus 200.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm not crapping on the Ford people that do this because
I think this is going to be an epic event.
Yes, I think 100%. But 500 is more realistic than the 1,000 plus another couple $100 for your passenger.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So FordRaptorRally.com. But I like the idea of them trying to make maybe a yearly thing of like, let's bring them not home, but let's bring them to a centralized location. Let's celebrate the Raptors because it is a special vehicle, no matter which one you get. The Bronco, the F-150, or now the Ranger.
And these vehicles, they're built different.
Doing this though.
What's that?
I honestly love that Ford is doing this because I mean, it's with Bronco, it's with Raptor. I mean, it's bringing these communities together.
100%.
Yeah, no, and I'm not poo-pooing on that because I think it's amazing. I just think that maybe they, obviously they don't. I think for Ford on these things, if they broke even, they're happy, and maybe that $1,000 price tag was to break even, so maybe now they're going to lose a little money on this. Maybe I don't know.
Assumption.
Yes, very much, but half price now, and really less than half price, including a passenger, because who's going to go out there by themselves unless you just live there?
Well, and I think the challenge is, so I totally get encouraging people to bring your own vehicle because you get to, like Allie was saying with Hollyoaks, the outpost. If you live near there or you're within driving distance, that's amazing to go there. do your vehicle, do everything for you. But this, like you said, there's a lot more people, I think, and this is totally an assumption, but there's more people that are closer to Utah than not as close to Utah like us. Like for us, this would never, I say never in the realm. If we were doing this full time, it could be in the realm of us driving our trucks out or truck out and just kind of giving it a shot. But Utah's far.
Yeah.
It's what did we figure? It's
28
hours.
Yeah, 20. I thought Moab was 24 hours, maybe. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's 26.
24, 28 hours, something like that.
For us. Mobile, no. I'm not carrying a car around and entering autocrosses and stuff. I just go street race.
Yeah, 500 definitely seems fair. It's just for me, I don't know that I could. I couldn't make the drive out.
Tim, 1,000 didn't seem fair.
No, 1,000 plus 200 for the gas did not.
Yeah.
No.
But even if you want to do, because this is on their course that they do, their training for the Raptors. It's the Raptor Assault. It gets expensive if you want to bring a guest to come with you. And then I've heard a lot of people bitching that, hey, I paid whatever the fee was. I went out by myself. Then they put somebody in the truck with me, and then I had
What
to.
was this for?
It's the same place at Raptor Assault.
Oh, for this.
But then they're like, I had to split time driving.
Oh no,
which would really kind of upset me.
Yeah.
As a journalist, when we go to these things, obviously there's an assumption you're going to split time with it. That's one.
Or
thing.
when we go together, that's different.
Yeah, she's not going to get to drive. I'm kidding.
I got to drive.
But good for Ford trying to make this, work out. Obviously, the economy is clearly showing. When a Big Mac is like $12 now or whatever they are, that's a little bit high. What's your point at?
I think you've got a good answer for this one. CP ATV, and again, how do you think the Ranger will handle 35s? No different than a Bronco?
Other than I think you're gonna have to do a lift of some sort on the Ranger. Well, Ranger Raptor or Ranger, I guess. First off, I think Ranger will do fine. I think you can throw new coils under Ranger. Depending on the leaf springs are easy to lift. That's no problem. Even Ranger Raptor, you put the sleeves on them, you can get them up. I know once again, I'm not pimping Exodus 4x4, but he's about to put 37s under his Ranger Raptor, and he's already put 35s under it. And I want to show this picture before we end on this, because this was one of the most badass things I've ever seen. And I shared it on Instagram. If you guys do not follow us on Instagram, you're crazy.
Hey, Jody.
Because you should. But
Jody, we missed you this weekend.
We did miss you, sir. This is Exodus 4x4. They were out playing with their Raptor, and that is effing epic. That is,
I didn't even get that much air in the Raptor R.
No, not at all. And look at it's level and balanced. It's definitely built to jump.
It's like the perfect picture.
But that's on 35s. So he's put 35s under this thing with I think there was a little trimming they might have done as well, but he's about to put 74 weld portals under this thing, and you put portals under this, it's going to be just freaking epic. And I know Quinn and all the guys over at 74 Weld, I think they've already done 37s, prove that it can be done. But Kelly, would you do that?
Would I jump it?
Yeah.
Now that I've jumped in Johnson Valley, yes.
Allie, would you jump this thing?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I like it. But no, that when I posted this thing, I love Mark's. I thought that was you at the dunes. I would have, but didn't happen. But if you just have the normal one, it's pretty easy to lift. You're probably $2,500 or more on up to do a good lift on it.
But I was just going to say, but you've got to remember that Australia got to beat this thing up a whole lot before it came to the States. So I feel like there's a whole lot more support that's going to be coming.
Oh, 100%. And I know some of these companies have reaching out, importing some of the parts that the Australians have been using.
Because I know we've been sent some stuff.
Yeah, it's still pretty new platform, but it's definitely you're starting to see a lot of cool products for it.
So that's what's
you feel cool when Mike Levine just liked one of your photos.
Nice.
Nice.
I do that on Threads. He'd do that on Threads for me.
He saw my Bronco photos. I'm happy.
Nice.
You know something I've noticed though,
Huh.
and it's come up. Ranger sales have not really cranked up yet.
No.
They're last in. They're right above the Honda right now, Ridgeline for sales.
So, do you think it's
So right now, Toyota's number 1, Chevrolet's number 2, Nissan's
I can
number
tell you what
3,
I think it is.
GMC's number 4, and then it's Ranger.
so not bringing politics into things, but do you think that it's because people are seeing, kind of the political changes that are happening or like may happen or things like that? Again, we're not jumping into politics, but do you think because it's an election year, people are kind of a little nervous?
I would, but
No.
the new Toyota's selling pretty well, and there's been a lot of issues starting to pop up on the new Tacoma.
For sure.
They're starting to go through transmissions, so that's not.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Obviously the full size trucks going through 3 4s right now. They're going to replace
yeah.
all of them.
My question: what's their financing rate?
Yeah, I don't know on that. Nor do I till I have to buy a 4Runner this fall. I don't want to know that. But yeah, I think the economy doesn't help that, and I think a lot of people were turned off by the Ranger right now due to the strike. I know that sounds awful, and if you're an employee, I know you're just getting the money you want to get. I'm not fussing either side, but I think
like there were some feelings hurt on the consumer side.
There was a little bit of, and we always see it. There's always people that kind of fuss about it, but I think it's probably 10% maybe back off. But I think sales will kick in. I think we saw them on the way back. I started seeing dealerships. You're starting to see them there, and that's the biggest thing is.
Yeah, you got
a lot of people. We're past COVID now. A lot of people are just want to go buy a vehicle. They want to go to the dealership like they used to. And buy a vehicle. And I think we're always rare because we're always excited to order vehicles. And a lot of the Bronco people that are in here or the Raptor people that like specialty vehicles, you're excited to order it and willing to play that game. But I think 90% of America, just probably Allie knows better than anybody. They just want to go to a dealership and go, oh, I want to go buy that one.
Yeah. And I think not everybody is a bunch of car people like we are. But Allie, what was your response to that? That you want a PC response?
Trying not to make it political.
Yeah. So you think it might be a little political then?
So from my position, from the customer base and the people I have talked to, I would say it's 90% political.
Yeah.
Could be.
I also think that a lot of it has to do with the interest rates. Because Ford can only buy them down so far.
Yep.
And people don't. I mean, I'm fully guilty of this. I didn't know how that worked until I got into the car industry. But like when Ford is offering this 0% or this 1.9 or this 2.9, you have to realize you have to look at how many rebates are with that.
Yeah.
And if there's none, it's because they have bought that rate down.
Yeah.
Like that money is going somewhere, and that money is going right back to the Federal Reserve.
Oh no, I definitely think. Well, people are cautious right now. For one, like you were saying, we've been in a recession, whether people think we are or not. I don't give a damn what the news says. We've been in a recession for a year. I see it in my normal life of home sales.
Yeah,
they are not selling like they used to. But I think always election year, people, I don't care which side you vote for, people are always a little cautious around this time.
Oh, for sure. I've already had people saying they're waiting until after November, and that's like that's up to you. Like use that okay. I don't want to say like use that as your excuse, because if that's your valid reason, like that's your reason. Like you owe that to nobody.
Right.
But at the same time, like we see this every 4 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what side of the table that you're on.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Before you go there.
Yeah.
So Mobile, we actually have a follow-up to that. So Mobile says, my father just bought a 14-year-old Dakota to replace his 2004 Dakota. The used prices are ridiculous. So it's funny you say that because Dave's dad's truck,
it's a little 2002 GMC Sonoma that the engine finally let go.
Yeah, and it just kind of blew up on him.
My dad's 83 years old, and he bought this thing. The neighbor sold it to him stupid cheap
Yeah.
years ago. And the last little truck he would have known about would have been in the late or mid 90s, and he started pricing out what to replacement because he loves this little truck more than anything.
And he immediately was like, I gotta buy a new truck. Even though he has 2 vehicles.
Yeah, by himself.
So he has 2 vehicles by himself, an SUV that was Dave's mom's and this little truck. And so he feels like he needs the truck and the SUV. And so he immediately was like, I'm going to go out and buy a truck. I need to replace this because I absolutely need it. And so he got into that, like went to the dealership and they're like, oh, well, it was only what? 21,000 or something for this truck. And then you started looking at it a little bit more and it was not just 21,000. Like there was more to it and all the things. And he finally, after about a week or so of looking and finally realizing that he probably couldn't get what he wanted, that he was like, you know what? I'm just going to put a new engine in it.
Yeah. And which is honestly at his age is probably better, even though he doesn't need to buy anything. But ideally the new Maverick would be freaking amazing for him, which we haven't even got to talk about.
No, we haven't.
I did the press event for the Maverick.
It'll have to be next week.
Oh, no, 100%. But pretty cool freaking truck. Watch my videos.
But check out the videos in the process.
Yeah. So I want to end on this. If you want to make a young boy happy with about 5 minutes to go, and if we could raise $12,000,
it's not gonna happen
in the next
Dave.
5 minutes. $12,000 to make a young kid happy or an old man happy.
I was gonna say you're not young.
This is a 2017 Ford Fiesta ST, and clearly the tent and stuff needs to be redone. But I've been looking for one of these for a while. But
my husband is weird. Everybody,
I love hatchbacks. But
$12,000. Kelly, shush.
Yeah, he just shushed me. He just shushed me.
But talking about used car prices, 12. Now clearly this is a little tunery kind of fun car, so there's a limited market for this. So people think, oh,
Douglas Blair keeps giving you 12Ks.
But if this was under my Christmas tree, I would greatly. I've wanted an ST of this for a long time, and because I had a Nissan Juke that I loved, but I would really like. I think this is a better looking car, but 90,000 miles, 12K.
I was actually surprised when I told you. I was like, look, Sid, Dad found your first car. When you showed it to her, she wasn't actually like, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, manual transmission too. The proper way to have the car. Kelly couldn't drive it then. If I
could drive it, I would just kill the clutch.
Yeah. But talking about used car prices,
Bryce telling me to be quiet.
But this car should not. I don't feel like. Oh, wrong way. That's a Nissan. We don't want to talk about that. But I don't feel like this car should be.
Oh, David Carlson, thank you for that extra 10.
I'm almost there, people. Thank you, David. I'm almost there. But in reality,
only 1,200 more of those.
Yeah. I'm just joking. Of course, I appreciate that.
Yes.
If the channel was doing a little better, I would go buy this car. But we just experienced 57. I could have.
Mobile might buy it. He's been looking for a Focus with a manual.
Mobile, I have his number if you would like it. But this is a special little car.
Laura said she's killing the clutch at the Dark Horse.
Oh, poor Laura. I know hubby said that he drove it more than she did.
Anthony, you're so welcome. Thanks for keeping on to me about getting you the stickers out too.
Yep. New gear. What do y'all think of the shirt?
Bryce said car looks like a clown car, Dave.
Bryce. Damn it, man. She doesn't need, you say this when I'm mid-sized talk show, not when Kelly's around here. But seriously,
it does look like a clown car.
No, it looks like a badass MFR.
Anyway, so what do people think of the shirt?
Yeah, we got some new gear up. If you guys are interested in this kind of thing, I think I'm going to shrink it down just. I think it's just a hair too big, but this is the prototype
shirt. It's fine.
Well, as long as my boobs are covered. Allie, it was good to see you again.
You guys too.
We just saw you the other day.
No, but
it was so nice to see in person.
I'm a little less sunburned on my face.
Yeah. It was fun to play in the puddles with you.
It was fun to play in the
puddles. That was so much fun. Honestly, that might be close to my highlight of the day. That was super fun.
I was giggling so much.
Yes, you were. It was amazing.
It was so fun.
She was. She definitely was. And there was one video I was kind of looking at, and you could hear Allie as she went through the splashing, and I'm far away, and you could hear her giggling far away from the stuff. And I was happy I got to get you some photos.
Yeah, I was like, you have no idea how excited I was over those. Because
Well-
it's just like I really don't like. I don't want like anyone to like feel like I don't want to like take photos or like do anything because like I love doing it. I do it for everyone else, and it's like I literally have like so few of Bucky like in the wild, and like to actually have one, I was just like, oh, I'm like I do stuff. I don't just go to events. I promise.
Night, David.
Night.
No, I don't. Well,
Mike Menick.
well, yes, Mike.
Yeah, we had a poor Broncos fork get stuck too.
Oh,
That was cool to see them out there, though.
So quickly before we go about the stuck, so we never finished like about how we got up there and how we got off of there. So so Mike was like up crested.
He had high
centered. I had my CB on.
You know, you had your GMRS right.
Sorry, my GMRS. I don't know. My head's not working right. Anyway, he was up there. He was high centered, and I said, "Hey, we're coming." And so we like drove up the side of the dune, like crested up there. We got up there, and we just ran to crisis. We didn't think about how we were getting down. And Dave actually, after the fact, tells me, he's like, I didn't actually think you'd follow me up here.
I really didn't.
But I did. And so then by the time we got up there, I looked down both sides of the dune, and I was like thinking to myself, oh shit, I don't know how I'm going to get down from here. And so that is when I did have to back up just a little bit because we were like on the dune itself that way. And when we went down it, Sydney's in the passenger seat and she goes, it's okay, Mom. Or she's like, it's okay. You got this. You got this. You got this. And we got through it. And I said, were you in a fake it till you make it mode? She was like, yes, because that's what I had to tell myself. You got this. It's fine. So she was like, I said, well, thank you for the words of encouragement, because it was necessary at that time, because the way that you had to turn, you kind of felt like you were going to tip and you were going to fall over, and it wasn't as bad as it actually felt like it was. So yeah. Dave actually has some footage.
It's a little blurry. It's a little blurry, but we were crawling up there trying to get to him on the very crest of that hill, as you can see.
But you can't really tell how high up we are.
You're very high up right there.
Very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we and clearly the cameras, there's me getting out of the truck, but clearly the camera's a little blurry because Sydney was not going to touch it.
Oh, that was Sydney.
She was not going to touch that thing and worry about it.
Hiding in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just holding it.
Oh, what was funny was after we get everybody unstuck, and I back the Bronco up or the Raptor up just a little bit and start to go down the hill. And I can see Kelly's just like lost of like, I can't, because you can't see. You would have needed to get out of the vehicle to understand. But she was on the highest point, and if she turned, you weren't going to roll because it wasn't as.
But it felt like you were going to.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then there was a little tabletop, and then it's where it really went down. And I could hear the little bit of panic in their voice.
I was sitting there, and Sydney goes, "Mom," and when she said that, I was like, "Oh shit." And so then I was like, okay, I'll back up a little bit and I'll turn. And he was like, you're fine. Just come. And I was like, nope, we're not fine. We're not fine. It's not okay. And he's like, yes, it is. Just trust me. And I'm like, okay, I'll trust you. Like, okay. And so then I did. And then that's when Sydney was like, you got this. It's fine. You got this. And she was totally faking it. So it was.
Hi?
But I think the final count, did you hear what the final count was, Allie?
I heard it was over 380.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there was a lot that don't show up to this picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were at the beach, and like several people commented like, I was comfy, I wasn't moving.
Yeah. Don't blame you.
But you can see there's me, there's Kelly, Allie's in there, there's Allie. Allie
there's
got her
Bucky.
Yeah, there's ours. Allie got her drone out and was flying around. A lot of drones.
Unbridled Broncos.
Do you like my own parking spot?
I did. And I was going to bring my drone, but I thought, well, they might not allow drones there. So
well, and all the times we bring our drone and we don't use it.
Yeah.
Bye, CP. Thanks for joining.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here.
You want to say hi?
Baseball Geek says, Dave, I'm back to make my Raptor offer again. What is the Raptor offer?
I don't remember what the Raptor offer was. Oh, there.
You're so weird.
Always direct message me. Everything's for sale at some point.
There's a number for everything.
There is a number for everything. And I'll be honest, like I was, before this, I told everybody last week, hey, it might be for sale right after this. This event kind of won me over for at least another month. So
bye, Tim. Thanks for joining.
But once again, if you're interested, Instagram's a great way to get a hold of us. So reach out to me, and maybe we talk some dollars.
Hi, Tim.
Kelly likes money. She likes when I don't lose this money on vehicles.
Yep, I do. That's it.
Oh my God, you psychopath.
Hey, I'm not that psycho. I mean,
No,
I'm a little bit.
Psychopath.
I knew you were. I was just filling the window.
He's been something else lately. I'll tell you that.
Well, so in the comments below, if you're watching this after the fact, let me know after the fact. I'm curious, did you make it the whole hour and 30 minutes? Because you're a trooper.
Sometimes we ramble.
That's right. But we have fun doing it. So Kelly, whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive,
or this bad mother effing Fords we all get to drive, I think we're going to end on this. It's been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd.
I'm Kelly Boyd. There's Allie Du Bois, and we're out.
Peace.